But you probably heard that I've been dealing with a few health challenges this fall, and my doctors told me to take it easy for just a...
She is glitter. She is rhinestones. She is a billion-dollar smile wrapped in platinum wigs and perfectly stitched dreams. Dolly Parton built an empire so vast it stretches from country music charts to theme parks, from songwriting halls of fame to global philanthropy. She wrote Jolene. She wrote I Will Always Love You. She became the voice of heartbreak and the symbol of hope. She is adored. She is untouchable. She is eternal. But here's what nobody asks. What does it cost to turn pain into performance? Because behind the sparkle is a silence. And inside that silence is a girl who never really left the mountains. The Golden Cage. Fame gave her everything, and quietly, it took something back. The wigs, the lashes, the exaggerated silhouette, the hyper-feminine persona so iconic it borders on caricature. These weren't just choices, they were armor. Because the world didn't just accept Dolly Parton, it redefined her. She wasn't just a songwriter. She wasn't just a businesswoman. She became a spectacle, a walking contradiction, too glamorous for country, too country for pop, too smart to be dismissed, too exaggerated to be taken seriously. So she leaned in, harder, bigger, brighter, until the image became the identity, and the identity became a prison, a golden cage where every smile had to shine, every joke had to land, every appearance had to feel like magic. Because if the illusion cracked, what would be left? Back to the mountain, back to the cold, back to the hunger, back to the silence. Sevier County, early 1950s. A one-room cabin, no electricity, no running water, 12 children, one space, and a girl named Dolly sleeping under blankets stitched from survival. Her father couldn't read. Her mother sang to fill the gaps. Music wasn't a luxury. It was oxygen. It was the only thing that didn't cost money. They didn't have enough food. They didn't have enough space. But they had stories. And Dolly listened. Closely. Because hunger does something strange to a child. It sharpens them. It carves ambition into their bones. Not as a dream, but as a debt. A promise whispered into the dark. I will get us out. The first rejection. She arrives in Nashville with $20. 20. Not a safety net, not a plan, just a voice and a belief that refused to die. But Nashville didn't roll out the red carpet. It closed doors. Again and again and again. You're too much, too flashy, too different. Country music had rules. Dolly didn't fit them. So they tried to reshape her, tone it down, look simpler, sound safer, become smaller. But here's the paradox. Everything they told her to remove was exactly what would make her unforgettable. The validation gap. She could write hits. She could perform. She could outwork anyone in the room. But respect, that came slower. Because Dolly wasn't just competing with artists, she was competing with perception. A woman with big hair and bigger personality wasn't supposed to be brilliant. Not in that era, not in that space. So every success came with a shadow. She's lucky. She's a novelty. She won't last. Rejection wasn't just personal, it became cultural. An entire industry unsure of what to do with someone who refused to shrink. And so she did something radical. She wrote her way out. The song that wasn't just a song. Jolene wasn't just a melody. It was insecurity dressed in harmony. A quiet confession hidden in plain sight. Please don't take my man. Not power, not control, but vulnerability. And then came I Will Always Love You, a goodbye that felt like a wound. Not just a breakup, a separation from identity, from safety, from the familiar. Because sometimes the hardest thing isn't losing someone else, it's losing who you were with them. The prison tightens. As her fame exploded, her world shrank. More money, less privacy. More admiration, less understanding. Because when you become a symbol, people stop seeing the human. They see what you need them to be. A comfort, a fantasy, a constant. And Dolly, she delivered. Every time. Even when it hurt. The love she kept hidden. In a world obsessed with exposure, she chose secrecy. Her husband, Carl Dean, remained almost invisible. No red carpets, no interviews, no spotlight. A ghost in the story of a global icon. Why? Because some things couldn't survive fame, and Dolly knew it. Better to protect it. Better to separate the life from the legend. But that separation came at a cost. 2 worlds, 2 identities, and a constant balancing act between them. The psychological loop. The jokes about her appearance, she made them first. Always. Before anyone else could. Control the narrative. Own the punchline. Because humor is a shield, and self-awareness is a defense mechanism. But underneath it, a deeper question lingers. How does the richest person in the room become its loneliest occupant? Because when everyone loves the version of you that performs, who loves the version that doesn't? Back to the promise. Back to the cabin, back to the hunger, back to the girl who made a vow in the dark. Everything she built was to escape that life. But escape is never clean. It leaves echoes, and those echoes follow you. Into the spotlight, into the success, into the silence between applause. The turning point. There was a moment, a quiet one, easy to miss, but everything depended on it. A young Dolly standing at the edge of 2 futures. One path said, conform, be what they want, fit the mold, play the game. The other said, risk everything. Be too loud, too bright, too much. One would guarantee survival. The other could destroy her, or make her unforgettable. She chose the second, and in doing so, she didn't just change her life, she rewrote the rules. But here's the tragedy. Because even when you win that battle, you don't always escape the war. The hunger doesn't disappear. It evolves. It becomes drive, then obsession, then identity. And suddenly, you don't know how to stop. Because stopping feels like going back. Back to the cabin, back to the silence, back to not enough. The legacy. Today, Dolly Parton is more than a person. She's a myth, a brand, a symbol, a cultural force. She gives millions away. She lifts others up. She turns pain into purpose. But beneath it all, there's still that girl, still chasing something, still proving something, still holding on to a promise made in a one-room cabin. Because the real story isn't just how she became famous, it's why she never stopped running. And maybe that's the part we don't see, the quiet truth behind the loudest sparkle. Because sometimes the strongest people are the ones still trying to escape where they came from.
my doctors told me to take it easy for